Hey guys, so we are live. Happy Monday. Let's do a quick mic check. Can you guys hear okay? Hello? Testing, testing. I think I fixed my microphone issue that we had with the fan, and that was just me being an idiot actually. So I had my desktop audio running, but didn't have the main mic rolling. Thanks for the host, Kempton. Um, Yeah, great. So we have some guests on the stream today to talk about the OD tourney. We're going to show some side-by-side video so that you guys can kind of get an idea of the strategy that went into this particular tournament. For you, those of you guys that saw the tournament that we had on Discord and a number of other areas advertised, it was a 3K power tournament. So you had to be able to. Yeah, Happy Mondays are a fraud. I try to make the best of them, but they're always rough. But so the 3K tournament was tough, especially if you had higher power, trying to get down to that 3K mark without completely obliterating your team. But we have on a Discord call with us right now. We've got SBP, we've got Traveling Blue, and then I'm going to be talking with, or I've got Eli's comments. He couldn't make it onto the stream today because of the time difference where he is busy wise, but I've got his comments. Can you? Thanks for the sub, Carlton. SBP and Traveling, can you guys do a quick mic check?
I'm here.
Can you guys hear them?
I'm here as well.
All right, cool. Yeah, it sounds like seems like they can hear. So again, we'll play the side-by-side video. So
Do,
Sam and Eli and Traveling Blue and Jay Furry all were able to send me their videos, so I edited those together. And all right, my mic's low. Let me turn it up just a bit.
do you hear me, Val?
Yeah,
Val, do you hear me
I think
now?
all the streamers. I think they can hear you guys. I think we're good.
Great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's an easy way to do it, just through the Discord call. I love their new video chat features. But so let's jump in and let's really just talk about your guys' particular strategy for the tournament. SBP, do you want to maybe start out and talk about your process and what you kind of thought about for the way to build out your team and which coach and captain you thought would be useful?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have the screenshots for my team that I sent?
Yeah, let me give me just a second. I'm gonna try to load these up real quick. Let's see, save. I'm saving them out right now. Two. We'll get him here. Hold on. You want to start a little bit with your general premise, or give me just a second to load it here?
Yeah, no problem. I'm a vert player anyway. Made a switch in captain, I guess, probably a couple months ago to Zach Martin. And the reason why is his bonus is at 140-yard pass to the tight end, which usually you can get about the third, fourth snap. And when you do, it usually plays pretty well into having the pass run pressure for somebody like Lynn, or if you're playing a Garrett player. Did the same thing about the same time, especially Garrett pro lane, and just found that Garrett was a good counter to people who use Lynn and sat on the wide receiver bonus. So it goes into like coaching captain when you're structuring the team. Obviously, since there's not really a plus or minus for overall, since we're going to be about the same power. It was important for me to find a low card power offensive guard because I knew Martin was going to go into that slot. Same thing with a tackle. Went with Munoz, big tackle. Really primarily run to that right side anyway. So I think whenever you get that picture up, it'll probably make sense.
Yeah, sorry, SPP. I'm working on it. They're downloading, and then I'll have them in
All good.
shortly. Yeah, I think that was a critical thing, was the captain bonus. Is figuring out how to use what you had captain bonus wise, and then figure out which coach also was going to kind of be able to bolster, not only provide you with the plays that you want, but be able to bolster your team to maybe give them some key boosts, that you might need for the match itself. All right.
Right. And when you look at the players I was able to keep maxed, I run a two tight end set anyway. So I use those two tight ends that were maxed, not only for the actual bonus, but also for the blocking that you get from a tight end versus a wide receiver. Because I knew that playing a Lynn person out, I would just need to pass, the run pressures and be able to shut off the wide receiver bonus in order to stay ahead.
So here is your
there we go.
Your offensive piece you can talk about.
Yep, exactly. So, like I said, you see, I kept, I have Munoz as a max player on my actual roster, but I knew his blocking capability and his size. So, like I said, I kept him on the right side along with my captain, Mark. And then on the left, you might have enough to block because most people are not going to spend a lot of time or resources on the D line. So it really was just important for me to have somebody that was good enough to hold the line and then make sure I could make this. Size-wise and blocking-wise, Moss and Fitzgerald were really good choices, I think. Running back, I needed somebody with enough speed to get those medium pressures, which Peyton did a great job at that. And Vert really doesn't use much of a fullback, so there again, I'm looking for just a low-powered guy to fit in.
And I'm pulling up your defense configuration right now.
Absolutely.
And I think this was the critical thing, is trying to find that balance of the right offense and then matching it with a defense that's going to get you enough stops to hold on.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that it was a curveball in all this is right as you kind of get the lineup set for those first rounds, EA goes out and they drop Moss, who you absolutely cannot leave on a bench. You got to have him in the game. So again, playing a vertical user, I knew that myself, the important parts were obviously to complete those long passes, but you need to pass enough run pressure. So I spent the resource and said, okay, I need at least one defensive tackle to get pressure up the middle, because most of those runs that people use with like plunge are going to go middle. So you have Jones there to kind of just make the stop and hope that you can get the pressure the right way. You look at the linebacking core. Urlacher is a terror. Brady Lewis has been a terror all year. So I wanted to have those two on the field. On the bookends there, went to Shazier and LT. So, the secondary was what was important besides the vertical user. So, Moss and Sean Taylor have been both extremely good, similar to Pat Tillman. And then Blount had the size, and he was at power level, which he was not max trained. So I was able to kind of stick him with him. Willie Brown is extremely fast, even at a 98. So had him in there to kind of fill that gap. And then Deion Sanders was a budget add. I needed something with low power that was cheap in the option house. So he fit the bill. Yeah. Right. So again, knowing my opponent and seeing that he was a vertical scheme, the important parts for me were to make sure that you still have pursuit and tackle. You have enough speed, but not too much, because most of the time they're going to be trying to reduce that defense as well. I mean, you have a 3,000 power budget, so it's important to have something that's impactful. So you want to boost the offense, especially with some of those lower overall players. They're not as fast, they're not as super. So I think using the new offensive booster was a big one. Similar to defense, you don't want to give up the pursuit and tackle. The speed you can almost give up, but that pursuit and tackle is very important. And you see the other boost that I use is the cornerback safety boost, and same thing. It gives you more tackle back, more pursuit, and keeps the speed at a decent level. I know that passing and run pressure is critical with Garrett, so I went ahead and put in both running back reducers that reduce carry, catch, and speed and agility. And then knowing that he was using a tight end as a captain, he didn't have to use his own quarterback. So I went ahead and made sure that the quarterback mobility is in there.
on, that might help. There we go. So since we've got a couple guests on, let's start one of the giveaways. We'll make it live right now, and we'll go in order. So we'll do SBP first as the giveaway keyword. So if you guys want to enter the giveaway, and that's for any of the 100 overall. Any of the 100 overall 4th of July players, except for the alter egos. We're still not giving away the alter egos, but SBP. So yeah, I know what got you in the match early on in this last one was the fourth Hail Mary, and I appreciate you for certainly bringing that to the attention that a rule was broken. So that's part of these things. Always these tournaments, it stinks, and it's a terrible way to go out. But certainly, when we have people that show that sort of integrity and bring it back up, that really helps build these things for the competitive community, in my opinion.
It's unfortunate, especially because if I look at my play over every other Overdrive match I do, I mean, at the end, it's always 4 verticals, it's always to a tight end. I have no idea why I decided to fat finger to Hail Mary. And then as I snapped the ball, I thought, did I run that again? And then when I was at the film, I was like, oh, yeah, I did. So, again, he was a great competitor, very understanding, but at the same time, I want to go ahead and move him on because he played a great match and he saved him to play them. So, wish him all the luck, and hopefully he goes and wins this thing so I don't look ridiculous losing to him.
Hey, Henry Madden, good to have you on. Yeah, certainly. I'll let you guys, if you want to pick a 96 or 98, absolutely. If you want to build and get the credit for the master, you're certainly able to do that. That's one of the cool things at least EA lets us do. It's not just the 100s, but they'll let us do the 96 or 98 so that you get the credit for the build, which is certainly helpful if you're going after any of the top tier masters, or if you're trying to go after Jones for the end to get the 12 masters you need to build by the end of the full field pass. I'll check. We're looking on some other things. There's always some limitations on the other things. So like I could do a player, or I could do like 8,000 whistles. And I don't know that 8,000 whistles would necessarily be. Thanks for the cheer, CHC. I don't know that the 8,000 whistles would necessarily help anybody at this point. It's such a small number compared, I think, to the badges or what you can exchange the actual players for. But yeah, 8K. Yeah, so there's always a little bit of a gap between kind of what we can give out versus the players, and I think the players end up being the better value overall. Shields certainly are a bottleneck in this promo, though, and they're expensive to build. I think I've kind of gone the route of I quit on Honey Badger actually because it wasn't as big as kind of what I wanted to see. And so I've diverted mine just to get everything for power. So going in and making sure I get badges, running seasons to get the TP up, and then just trying to get the power up to a reasonable level. So let's like I said, giveaways live right now. SBP is the keyword, SBP. And so again, we've got Traveling Blue on as well, who is we ended up actually in the last round with a battle between the 99P league mates. So we had Traveling Blue versus Jay Furry, and so we've got that match live. It'd be tough for you guys to be able to see just on the video call, but Traveling, do you want to kind of go through before I play the kind of 3-minute walkthrough or the 3-minute video of you guys going head to head? What was your general strategy for how you approached building your team and picking the coach and captain that you did?
Well, the coach and captain was an easy decision because I've been running with Landry all year long.
Yeah.
So I wasn't changing now. And Zimmer, I think I ran Vrabel for the first few months, and then when Zimmer came out, I switched to Zimmer. So I'm not much of a change guy. So I've been sticking with Landry and Zimmer the entire time. I figured I'd run with them. For my team, I had since I'm a free-to-play player, I kind of had a budget of 100,000 coins. I think the highest my coin pile ever got this year was 6 million. So I'm not one of those guys with a ton of coins to spend. So I figured on this tournament, I was going to try to keep it under 100,000. So that kind of limited me as to what my team was going to be. My basic thought was I was going to keep the safeties and corners as good as I could, and my outside line and my linebacker core as good as I could too. Then I was going to run with Vic, and that actually when you see the video, that was a big decision of mine. Was to have Vic. I ran Vic for like 4 or 5 months out of this year, and then recently I switched to 105 Mahomes.
Oh, okay.
So I went from lefty back to righty, but for the tournament I went back. I went back to lefty, and there was some inconsistency there, but I thought I could do it. Even when I run a lefty, I still kind of play him a little bit like righty. I don't go all the way left and run all my plays left. Then I went with I kind of went budget for the rest of my offense, where Landry was a top player for me, and then I kept CJ as my slot. But my running back, I went with Chris Johnson. I think Jim Brown, 50 power as my fullback, and Adam Thielen as my 99 Adam Thielen as my number one wide receiver. So I didn't, along with Landry. So I didn't really change. And then my offensive line was all 50, I think 80 power or below. Since I didn't spend any money on my offensive line, whatever I had in my inventory was the team I went with.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good strategy. I certainly would have stayed with Landry. I mean, we're both spread players, and I think, for those of you that haven't played Traveling Blue, I think Traveling Blue is probably one of the best spread players that's out there. I play against a lot of people, and Traveling Blue always, when we do intra-league matches, always throws 24 up on my defense, no matter what boosters I've got in, no matter what team configuration I use. He just runs spread really, really, really well. So I was glad to see some spread representation in the tourney.
Spread is tough for OD. I mean, it's great for LVL. It is definitely not the ideal the ideal option for OD, but it's fun. It's fun to play as an outsider with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It certainly is not. It's not one like vertical. I feel like you can just kind of get in and pick it up with OD. I mean, because you're slinging the ball down the field anyway. Most of the plays are plays set up to sling the ball down the field. But where spread, you kind of have to, you got to roll out and you got to make defenses kind of work off of the other players in order to get those deep balls into the end zone. But I'm a glutton for punishment, so I think that's a little bit why I like the spread challenge. So let's play the video. So we'll go through, and this is actually the live. This is what I did was they sent me the videos from the play, and so this is actually the side by side. I've got it ticked down to where you can actually watch the video, and we can see. If you're watching on the streams, guys, SBP or Traveling Blue, you may not be. You probably are just on the call, but it'll be way.
No, I'm on the stream, so I can try to walk you through it.
Okay, cool. And it may be just a little bit off in terms of timing, but that's okay. All right, so let's flip over right now, and before we get going, let's do the giveaway. We don't want we got to make sure we get the giveaway out the door here. So SBP again, we're gonna run that in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the winner's Kotz, following since June 10th. Thanks for the follow, Kotz. Appreciate it. Let me send out your whisper real quick. And guys, again, we're sitting at like 63 viewers right now. Really appreciate just people hanging out. Again, the key thing for us is showing that we've got support for Madden Mobile as something that is a streamable entity. Let's see. All right. All right, so let's jump over and we'll watch the video. So again, this is the full 3 minutes. So again, Traveling, if you want to say something about it as you go, feel
sure.
free
I'll walk you. It's a rough start to this game. I fell behind early, real quick.
Yeah, Eli said the same thing. His game with Sam, he said it just started out so slow for him to get anything going that it was hard to try to get any traction back. And that that's what you see when you've kind of made these sacrifices. In your team, you don't get that sort of that you don't feel like you've got that same sort of boost that you might get, or that little edge that you might have if you maybe had that power advantage or something like that. So it gets harder and harder because their defense keeps getting boosted up and boosted up.
Yeah, I feel like actually in the 2 rounds prior, that's what really hurt Solo and Boone
Yeah,
was since they were used to playing +5 all season. When I got an early lead on them, it was tougher for them to catch up even.
yeah,
Um,
for
for
sure.
me, since I've been playing -5 all season, or at least a lot of it. Um, I get used to playing from behind, but I think Furry was the same situation as I was.
Yeah.
Right? He's also a free to play player, so I had no advantage. That's why Sam and Furry is going to be a great match. They're both used to playing -5, and they're going to be a good matchup.
And I think the other thing too. I mean, when you get down to 3K like that, it's not only the change in your players, right, but it's also the change in just the speed of play that you're used to, right, and even switching from ranked to unranked, where maybe if you're one of the top players, then you're playing a lot of matches in Elite or Hall of Fame or higher, and so those matches are tougher and they tend to be a little bit slower going, where when you go into unranked, the difficulty's not the same. You're now playing at 3K power, so your timing on throws and everything, you can watch the defense, but timing and everything gets way off compared to the team that you're used to playing with on a day-to-day basis. All right, so let's roll this. Let's roll this.
So I always start with PA slot options, and there, oh, my guy drops it. So I get frustrated, and the stubborn streak in me, I go right back to the same play, and immediately I see his middle linebacker drop back, and I knew I shouldn't have thrown it, but I did it anyways. Then the next play I face a run pressure, right? Oh no, that's the next one. So here I'm rolling. This is when I forgot that Vic was a left-handed quarterback, so I roll right, but it worked out okay. um, Here's where I'm facing a run pressure, right? And I have to run straight, uh, and it kills me. I think I just missed that. Um, then so I have to waste another play, do the fullback dive, and I get that touchdown. So now I'm trying to. I have to face a run pressure. I know I still have two more play action plays to get my bonus. I failed that run pressure. That hurt. Um, Again, this is another play. I forgot that Vic was a left-handed quarterback, but I think it ended up work. I think it worked out. Yeah, so it did work out. Um, I have to score from the 2 though. I go to this little throw play. That's a spread play. I love that from inside the 5. Works great. I know if it's supposed to be a long distance play, but I use it for my short yardage. Um, Here I'm facing another run pressure. It took me a second to decide what play to call. I ended up calling an option. I picked that up. Here I want to finish my play action. Want to finish my play action bonus, so I go with that. Worked out well. Again, probably should have gone to the other side. I now do the exact same play. This time I remember that Vic's a lefty, so I go back to the left side, and it's much more successful, much easier. Oh, but it didn't work out. That was to Landry. That was the T line. I might have. I did pick up. Yeah, I picked up the bonus. Um, and here, so now I'm down by 300, and I know I'm in trouble, right? So 300 down. I'm kind of. I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need some big plays. Hope my defense gets lucky, and I'm not gonna be able to miss any more run pressures. So that one worked out. Went to the left side, a long play to T line. Um, Now I'm going to go with bomb again because I'm desperate. Um, and oh, Gronk just missed out. Would have been nice if he got a touchdown there. Could have used it. I think I I think I go here with a little halfback angle. I'm not sure what they call it anymore, but they used to call it halfback angle. Picked up the touchdown there. Furry's faster at picking plays than me. He goes quick. Um, and here, so this is the play. That was the play of the game right there. I needed that. That was his big run pressure for 150 points. I needed to pick it up. At this point, I know the match is over. So that was my last gasp. I needed to hit that run pressure and then score a touchdown, and I did neither. So I ended up losing by 300. I could have tried to pull it out there at the end, but that run pressure was a killer. I see you have a comment. I see you have a comment in the books on the chat about do I try to hit the run pressures? I always do. So I know that's a point of contention that some people say, hey, it's better just to go for touchdowns. I think as a spread player, your margins are narrow. So you have to try to get their run pressures and hope that your run pressures work. I don't think there's really a path to victory with spread by just ignoring run pressures. I rarely win unless there's like a +2 wide receiver out there. I rarely win a match where it's like 1,600 plus, right? Like my winning combination is like between 12 and 1,400 I score, and they score a little bit less. And I think that's like one of the trade-offs of playing with spread is there's really no other option. You have to try to hit the run pressures.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm the same way. Most people try to avoid the run pressures and throw over top of them, but in spread, most of the time, I don't generally try to avoid all of them. I might throw over like the first two, something like that, and it just depends on who I'm playing, right? And certainly I'm more inclined to do that if it's again a certain type of match. But yeah, I agree with you. As a spread player, you've got to be able to hit those run pressures, I think. And again, what's interesting for me on the spread side is that we play people, and my average, if you look at vert players, right, they're most of their averages when they play OD, and I don't know why this is, but I mean their averages seem to be like 1,800, 1,900, 2,000, right, is the scores that they get. And as a spread player, I win a lot of matches. I mean, I'm not again, I'm certainly not the best player from by any stretch of the imagination. We've looked at kind of like, I sit at like a 73 to 75% record playing down 5, a majority of the time. And, but with spread, you really have to, and I lost my train of thought again. I'm trying to do too many things at one time here, getting Nick's images that he sent. And, but
no, I agree with you. I agree with you that with spread, the margin of victory is smaller.
Yeah, and I very rarely have a 2,000 point game unless it's just an unload where I'm playing on a much weaker opponent and they've fired off like the Lin boost, and then I'm just hammering it into the end zone over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think that I actually love playing. I love playing against teams that use Lin because they get so reliant on the +2 that's why it's really important for me to have a coach, and Zimmer fits it, where you can cancel that out really quickly. So I save that cancel the cancel tactic out until when I'm playing with Lin. So I'll hold that and I'll hold it until the end just to cancel the +2 wide receiver. That's why I prefer to play players who try to win with a lot of points because when you throw them off their game, it's hard for them to get back into rhythm. But players who run with Garrett or actually I've been having a hard time recently with Gruden.
Yeah.
So players that run with off coaches other than Lin, I have a much harder time keeping up because they're not so reliant on that +2.
Well, we've had several conversations here recently. Like Goody Two Shoes has made some pretty good progress in the tournament, and he's been running Mahomes with Harbaugh. And it's a weird combination. Most people don't. You don't see a lot of Harbaugh. Early on, I saw more people using Harbaugh, but as the running became so difficult in OD, people switched to 6 run pressures, and that's what you really had to stay with. But I was talking to some other people about Harbaugh in general, and I think one of the things you can see on the screen is his boost that he gives, and I don't know how well it shows up on the stream, but you see his cornerbacks, middle linebackers, and safeties all have tremendous man coverage, play recognition boosts that certainly are going to help you in OD, right? So by the end of a match, you're still trying to sling balls down the field with probably a weakened offense, and his defense is getting boosted like crazy with these cornerback, safety, and middle linebacker boosts. And so I think that might be and again, not people not used to seeing these passing run pressures. Now you've got to beat these passing run pressures, which usually is not a problem, right? If I see Harbaugh in OD, I'm usually happy. But because as a spread player, of course, we're going to get those PA passes, and I'm just going to run all over him most of the time. But in this tournament where you've got a weakened offense, trying to beat those pass pressures is actually a little bit tough.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I don't run Harbaugh because I got so used to him last season, and I missed the Harbaugh from last season.
Yeah,
last season, Harbaugh
Curl.
was the best. The coach from Harbaugh last season was so great. You would finish all your pressures with like 30 seconds left. You knew you were going to get all 6 in. He had some great coach plays. So I missed my Harbaugh from last season, so I never really tried him much this season.
And who picked up
but you're
strong
right
curl this
that
year? What SBP? Do you remember? Yeah, it was Peyton, wasn't it? Picked up strong curl.
Yes,
that
and
was
no,
the go-to if you had Harbaugh and LT as a spread player.
And you remember they had that one run play where they it was so good they actually had to ban it.
Yeah, we've had that over the years. But so let's jump on. Let's do the next giveaway. Let's go ahead and roll that up, and let's make it traveling blue. So the giveaway is traveling blue. And
that's long. You should have just had it. You should have it a TB. Traveling blue's too hard to spell.
Yeah, we can do that. We can just do blue. So we'll do blue. Let's just do blue. And that way we still get the Michigan reference, right?
That's right. Go blue.
So let's do. I'm in Tennessee, Kempton. If you can't tell by my accent, but I've got a mix of Southern accents.
That's why Vol's a big Michigan fan. He loves Charles Woodson.
That's right, man. I'm a big Harbaugh fan. So blue giveaway is live. BLUE. SBP, if you're still on, do you have anything you wanna add into the strategy wise and things that you've maybe seen through the tourney? I know you've kind of kept up with some of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing is whenever you set up a team and a booster, you're being mindful of the captain bonus. I think it's absolutely impossible to win without hitting the captain bonus. So whatever your team construct is, you want to make sure that you can achieve the captain bonus, and then based on your coach, make sure that you can come up with enough stuff, enough points out of it to put yourself ahead. I mean, obviously executing the plays is important, but you want to do those things that are underlying to make sure you can maximize the point total. So make sure you get the captain bonus. Make sure you can try to stop at least a couple of pressures, especially if you run slightly Land or Garrett, where you're going to have 6 blood pressures. And then just make sure that your guys can make tackles. I mean, if you're playing a vert user, you're going to want to have a pretty beefed up secondary. If you're playing a spread user, you probably want to concentrate on the line. So if you're playing a smash guy, you definitely want to have those lots of linebackers and some of that view. So just look at your opponent, try to game plan for them, try to arrange your players the right way where you have some mismatches on offense, and make sure that you can hold enough blocking to pass through. So really, that's about the only advice I can give. But just adapt and count with all measures. Just make sure you don't run 4.
Well, that's one reason why I kept the team and the team can change, right? Because that's really difficult to police, whether somebody swapped out a special teams player or something like that. But, the team can change, but your coach and captain that you started with needed to stay the same and from when you started. And I think a key part of that is because then that still gives you some ability. You can look on the challenge page and you can look at your opponent and which coach and captain that they're riding with and then make some decisions on how you think they're going to build their team out to optimize that coach and captain play, right? So even though they can change their team, you still have some hints on how they might put together a strategy, and how they might put strategy against working for against you. Well, what do you mean team showcase, Henry Madden? You mean just scouting the team? Yeah, if you're just talking about scouting the team, there actually is you can use channel points, and I think I can't remember if I added the scout in or not, but that's something we can add in. Is that what you're talking about, Henry Madden? Yeah, I can show you all of my players, sure. So that's my offense is sitting right now at where my total power is about 74-47. Trying to push up as much as I can, so I've just been playing a ridiculous number of seasons games and trying to work the AH with what little cash that I have. I'm like traveling blue, and I don't keep a ton of coins on hand. Got up to maybe 6 to 8 million, something like that. I think was the most. And so there you go, Henry Madden. You can see my squad. Usually when I think of team showcase, I'm thinking scouting of another player's team. But there you can see I went ahead and maxed out my Juju. You know, the other spread options that we've had so far just have been shorter, and I want to go ahead and get that power up. He was still sitting at 136 max power, and so that was really kind of keeping me below. So I went ahead and yeah, I'm about 600K too, Sam. But, you know, I went ahead and maxed him out to get that power boost, give me immediately almost 70 power, and then be able to work on him. And then now really it's my offensive line, the interior part of the offensive line. Obviously the defense is completely maxed out, has been maxed out for a little bit. And then I have special teams which need some work. So I've maxed out Sanders, but still, you know, I've got my junkie kicker and punter in. And my punt returner is still just he's 100, but he's not maxed out yet. But this is kind of the setup that I built for spread, and it's still funny. I need to put some video up. I'll do that. I'll try to post some video someplace of Barry Sanders maxed out as a fullback, because it's hilarious watching his tiny frame go out and pancake like a 300-pound guy on the field. So I could swap him out and play, but Sanders is being punished because of his fumble rate that I had with him when he was a maxed player, and getting popped by Bobby Bell. He would cough the ball up more than I liked, and so he's relegated to fullback. But it's hilarious watching him go down the field and pancake some big dude. And Greeny's not here to ask what I've got for lunch, but it's just typical protein shake for me today. Powder, protein powder. So guys, if you guys want to hop off, you can. Let's do it. Roll the giveaway though. Blue is the giveaway. BLUE. And then I'll go through Elite Eli and Sam's match, which we have live. Again, BLUE is the giveaway. I'm gonna roll it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great Big Cow. Following since June 15th. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, Cal. And I just added Cal into the chat not too long ago, so he's been hanging out in there. Let me send you your whisper here. Guys, I know you had some other stuff to do around the 1 o'clock time frame, so feel free to jump off if you want and not have to hang out. You're welcome to stay if you want. But
well, thank you for having me on, Paul. Good luck.
Yeah, man. I certainly appreciate you guys both taking the time. I know that's again, you know, it certainly is time out of everybody's day doing this, so I really appreciate, you know, the competitive guys getting on and just talking about, you know, how they approach things. I think that's really good for the community to kind of see how you know, how that sort of thinking or what sort of thinking goes into these types of things. But you guys
see you all in the game and
rest of the Monday, and I'll see you guys in LVL or in chats.
Yeah, and hopefully I do not see SBP in OD because he'll kill me as he usually does.
Yeah, I don't want to see SBP right now either. I'm like -5 plus another -11 in reducers.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the wall, and good luck to the guys that are left, and have fun. And yeah.
All right, see y'all. Happy Monday. All right, so let's roll this. Let's get this whisper out here before I forget. I don't want Great Big Cow thinking I've forgotten his giveaway. All right. So we've got Elite Eli's match also. Sam, I think, is in the chat, so he can jump in and talk too. I tried to keep it to where. The people who still had matches to go, so like Jay Furry's in the chat also, but I didn't want them to necessarily feel like they had to come on and talk right now because they still have a match to go in the tournament. We'll be streaming the semifinals and the finals once we it's just coming through my desktop audio, so that really is where any things QWERTY that I was working on that was would have been just coming from those adjustments. Yeah, no, it's just waiting on a refresh, Josh. Just waiting on a refresh. So I'm working with the remaining guys to get scheduled for the semifinals and the finals. We'll probably do like we did last time, where we run the semifinals and the finals all on the same day back to back, and that way we can kind of just host a stream. And yeah, Larry Allen's funny too. certainly, that makes it to where we can just kind of have a little bit of a segment of time where everybody can jump on and then just roll into the next matches. But Jay Furry and those guys are in the chat instead of on the call because, again, I didn't want them necessarily feeling like they needed to or wanted to discuss their strategy since they still have another match to go. So Jay Furry and Sam are going to be matched up, I think, in the next round. And we have Goody Two Shoes and Valerace, I think, in the next round. So, and that's our semifinals. Thanks for the follow, Luke. And Josh, thanks for the cheer. But certainly, we're going to stream those, get them up there, and then let's run through Eli's comments that he sent me. And again, right now we don't have a giveaway, but we'll do the next one in just a few minutes. Let me cancel that so we can start the next giveaway. So while we're talking with talking about Elite Eli's strategy, let's go ahead and roll the next giveaway. Let's go ahead and do Monday. You guys know I like to celebrate the day if we can. So Monday, next giveaway, MONDAY. Fred, thanks for the cheer, man. Appreciate it. So MONDAY, and the giveaway is live for a 100 overall of the 4th of July players, excluding the alter egos. We're not giving those away yet. But let's get that giveaway rolling while we talk about what Eli had sent me. So Eli's in the UK, so he's a little bit different time zone than I am. So let me pull up his comments here. So he says number one, he used Luck and he used Garrett. So his combination was Luck and Garrett, and that's his normal combination for OD. And so I certainly appreciate that strategy. If you play with who you're comfortable with, then it certainly can potentially give you an edge. Traveling Blue had mentioned just a minute ago that he swapped quarterbacks, going from a right-handed player, Mahomes, that he'd been playing with here recently in normal play, and he swapped back to Vic for the tournament. And so, that is could be helpful, but also could get you a little bit out of your rhythm. As Traveling Blue mentioned, he forgot a couple times during the play calls that he was running that left-handed quarterback again. And so using there's certainly a lot of strategy, or certainly a lot of, I can agree with choosing the coach and captain that you potentially use daily. So what he liked about that particular combination, or why he stuck with that for the tournament, is because, of course, you can get all 6 of Garrett's challenges off, and all of those are going to be runs. And so when you're when you're playing in like this 3K style tournament, you're going to be playing against a little bit of a weakened defense or weakened offense, and so maybe they're not going to be able to pass those run pressures, especially the later ones, to potentially give you a pretty good leg up. So his first 2 choices that he had for maxed positions were both his outside linebackers, and so he wanted to make it tough for his opponent to run. Since he knew he was going to be sending run challenges, he wanted to make sure it was as tough as possible for the opponent to run against him. And so, he wanted to make sure whether they ran right or left that they couldn't just pick a weak side of the field and then just hammer him with that. And thanks for the cheer, 6 Asian. He also assumed, or made the assumption, that most people were going to use a coach that had mostly run pressures, and so that Garrett, Lynn, Zimmer, one of those, that would allow him to have the best chance of being able to pass those. So he made the assumption that people were going to play with the standard coaches that we see in normal competitive play, and tried to work on his team and boosters so that they would give him the best chance of passing the run challenges. And so he had a maxed running back, and he had a maxed pulling guard so that he could run potentially halfback toss strong. Thanks for the cheer, CHC. And so again, very good strategy. And so then he had a max free safety, and a max free safety, a max defensive end, again to try to give, and he chose the side of the field, the right side of the field, so that way it would assumed most people would be running a right-handed quarterback, and so that way it would decrease potential players' opportunities to roll out right, and also give him, or he also maxed out his nickel to be able to open that, or to be able to provide some defense in that space. Then the rest of his team was built out was what was left. So he tried to use as many 98 overall NFL 100 players, which I thought was a great strategy by people, remembering that they could do that. Get those NFL top 100 players for fairly cheap. and then be able to get them on the AH. They're only 50 power each at base, and so it was a really good way to get some solid players with very low power, because we did not have an OVR cap with this. It was only the power cap. And so, thinking like that, it was a really, really cool way that I saw a lot of people thinking, which was really neat. And so he sacrificed power and overall on special teams, obviously, and at QB, because he used his captain. So by using one of the skill positions in the tournament as your OD captain, that does free up some space where you can potentially just put in like a silver player in that location. And thanks for the follow, Antonio. That puts gives you an opportunity to really make the most of that power and use a very, very low power player at that particular location. No, Great Big Cow, you can't select AE. AE, the alter egos are off the table right now. Maybe later. We got to wait on Nick to give us the thumbs up on those. But again, you can pick a master that certainly lets you be able to do that. Yeah, and I see your request, Patriots. What is the? Yeah, maybe we've gotten word maybe, but it's not. We're not allowed to yet. That's how it was. That's how it was told to me. So what's the personal question, Patriots? Yeah, SSN. Oh gosh, that's tough. I don't know if I want to tell you the exact amount, but it's a lot. I mean, I've bought, I certainly spend on this game. It's I buy every field pass. I buy usually the boosters that go into it, at least the third quarter packs probably. Buying these $10 and $30 things that we go, usually I purchase. I would say, it's easily been, over 1,000 probably this year I've probably put into the game. Let me rephrase. It's definitely been more than that, but it's certainly a lot. And that's, again, it's my choice from that perspective, right? So for me, I don't have the time to sit and grind, right? So it's not about, and I want to stay competitive and be able to play. And so I don't hoard, I don't keep things out, but it's just a choice that I want to get players quickly, right? I want to, it's not a month of rent for me, but I want to get players quickly. I don't have time to sit and play. I don't have time to sit and play for hours and hours and hours. To be able to grind. And again, really appreciate those that do. I used to be able to do that, 5 years ago when I first started this game. I didn't spend any money on the game at all. But as I got more into the competitive side of it, more into the competitive OD side, more into the competitive tourney side, more into the competitive head-to-head and LBL, then certainly my spending went up with that. Now really my spending probably peaked back in probably 2016, 17. That's probably the most that I've ever spent. That season, maybe 2018, but certainly, in the last 2 years, I really have felt like you can still maintain a high level of competitive play and not spend a lot of money at all. But again, $1,000 seems like a lot of money, but you're talking about, if you buy the field passes every time at $30 a piece, right? Then you've spent quite a bit of cash there, right? And if you buy the boosters in between and you're spending $100 a month, it's easy. That's $1,200, right? So it's easy to put 1,000 on the game if you're playing anything competitively and don't want to spend the time grinding. But again, I choose to support it. I like EA. I like the content. If I didn't like the content, I wouldn't play. And that's just a way that I support things that I like, whether it's a charity or if it's a game company. I'm not a guy that goes in and takes something for free and then doesn't donate something back into it, right? But certainly that's it's a choice, and I always see these big on Reddit. You see people arguing back and forth about whether they hate Quells and blah blah blah, but without people spending money on the game, there's no game, right? You've got to have people spending money on the game, like me and others. Otherwise, there's not a free game, right? Otherwise, or you're sitting watching ads all day long to offset the cost of development, right? And certainly, like Jerry says, smoking probably costs a lot more, and I'm not a smoker, so there you go. I play Madden instead of smoke. That's my vice. But I'm certainly fortunate to be in a situation where I can also afford to do that, right? And I understand people can't do that. And I do think also that, this year and the last year, really, there have been, yeah, of course, I mean, if I didn't like EA, I wouldn't play the game, right? But I think this year that we've really had a lot of options for free-to-play players, right? It certainly is, there's amazing players you can get and not spend a dime on the game, right? You can farm gems all day long in a lot of different ways. And so there's a lot of ways that I think for people to get good players free to play. Now, certainly, you're not going to keep up with some of the others. Over time, you'll slowly build up and be able to do it. But, I mean, that's the way things usually work, right? If you pay, then you're probably going to have a little bit of an advantage over somebody else, right? And that's just it's the way most stuff works, and that's the way the game's always been, right? If there was never a time that I can recall where free to play was just 100% as competitive as the other player, right? It's always been that if you pay, you get some sort of advantage, whether that's in the time that you didn't, the time that you spend in the game, and you get to spend less time because you paid and just bought this piece out, or your team is better, right? And can I take what off, Patriot? Yeah, I can take whatever off. Yeah, I agree, Fred. Pay players should always get. There should be an advantage. And again, I think they've done a pretty good job of having it where you pay and you get a little bit of an advantage, but the free-to-play people can catch up to you. And I think that's been a pretty good way to do that. You get a little bit of an advantage. Maybe you get a little bit of a window before people can get access to something else. But that's just the way that the game's always worked, right? We've got to have funding. Otherwise, otherwise, oh yeah, and I agree, Random Jerry. I mean, if you grinded a lot, if you grinded a ton of seasons, you're probably better off in training points than I am, right? Because I didn't grind season after season after season after season. And again, it's just because I don't have time. That's been the real issue for me, and always, last 4 or 5 years has been more of the issue for me, that I do a lot of travel, running around a lot, and I see that we won our league tourney, which that's good. But I agree, Fred. I think this has been a pretty good balance. Obviously, there's always bumps and hiccups along the way, but I think EA's done a good job of getting players out there that free-to-play people can achieve. Being able to farm gems and being able to surprised. That makes me feel bad. Now my feelings are hurt. But I think they've done a good job. I think they've done a pretty good job this year. And like I said, there's always bumps. There's always hiccups. Things are going to happen. It's live mobile content that's being dropped out, right, on a routine basis, and things are updated pretty routinely. But I think it's been a pretty good year overall. Yeah, Josh, he's talking about 99 problems. You mean, so is there a lock on symbols then? Let me pull up. Pull it up. We'll look at it, and then we'll play Eli's match. Remember, giveaway's still live, I think, right? We didn't roll anything Monday. Monday. Of course, I do giveaways, Patty. Of course, it's part of the fun, right? I did giveaways on my YouTube channel before I even had anything sponsored from EA. I think giveaways are fun. Yeah, no alter egos. So Monday giveaway is live, and let me take a look at the bot here, and let's see what we've got. All right, Pat, so that should be off. Give it a try again, see if that works. Monday. Yeah, we've matched up before, for sure. We've matched up with Legends of Valhalla. And a lot of us cross over in between those. We don't really have a feeder. 99 Problems doesn't have a feeder, but we cross over. We've got lots of guys that have we have lots of guys that have accounts inside of all alternates inside of LOV. So I'm in the Discord. I'm in the LOV Discord also, the chat that we have there. I pop in occasionally. Let's see, I've got it on. So it's just for the characters, Pats? Yeah, no, it's a good group of guys. I mean, really, that's, you know, after you play this game for so long, that's why you play. I mean, a lot of these folks become family, you know? It's like an extended family. I mean, you hang out with these people, talk to them almost every day. And that really is what makes it really cool, right? It's like a virtual, you know, locker room. Everybody gets to hang out and just shoot the breeze, and you know, occasionally you get to bump into a few of the people that you've met, you know, through leagues and things like that, and that's always pretty cool. I don't know if it. I mean, it's going to start around 5 to 50. It's set at 50, I think. So, I mean, you guys should be able to put some characters in. So, let's jump in. Let's show Eli's video. And I'll let you guys watch. So, Monday, giveaway is live. MONDAY. MONDAY. Yeah, International Series. Alright, so let's play Sam and Elite Eli's. Now that we've kind of gone through Eli's comments on what his strategy was. So again, MONDAY, that'll be live through this as we watch the tournament piece here. And you guys just sit back and watch. And Sam, if you're in the chat, feel free. So Eli said he started out a little bit slow, and there you saw that, you know, that early pick. You know, you see Sam rolls out a whole lot, and the benefit to rolling out like that is it does force the defense. The defense will have to start playing down in order to try to go after the quarterback, and as the plays all move to that side, and so you get a lot of defenders that tease down that make that situation more amenable for OD, right? So you can see that where he rolls out defenders, he's got the underneath coverage, and that's also critical in OD. You know, if you're underpowered, you know, that's what you want to look at, is where you have these underneath coverage players and hit those. They're a really nice scramble by Sam. So Eli's moving out, and you can see Eli's a little bit more on the pocket side of things. He likes to roll out and then slow down a bit, where Sam likes to stay on the run a bit. Yeah, they're working on it. It was, as Nick said this morning, 6 Asian is just a wonky content push. So they're working on it. They'll get it out. I mean, it's affecting everybody. It's not just one or two people. And the black at the top of Sam's screen is he got a few text messages in while he was playing, so I blacked those out for the stream. Remember, giveaway is live. MONDAY. Giveaway is live. Yeah, the black box fixation, like I said, is because Sam had a few text messages come in while he was playing OD. So when I edited these videos and put them side by side, I blacked out the text messages coming in. I'm all about maintaining people's privacy. All right, so there you see the match there. So it's, again, a really good matchup. I think that was a pretty good setup. And again, kind of shows, when you're in these 3K, these low power sort of setups, then it's really interesting to try to see how things are going to play. Yeah, I thought that was a really good matchup, and I think we've got some good ones left. Like I said, Goody Two Shoes, Valerace, and then we have Jay Furry and Sam. So we've got a good semifinals group, I believe, which is really cool. I was hoping to try to start off OD, but like I said, OD still. We don't have any active season yet right now until they get that content push out there. And again, same if you're looking in sets, don't be surprised if you don't see some of these sets popping up. There are no head-to-head sets right now because again, that's all related to the similar content push. I did get my player here, so we can go in and exchange the quarterback here maybe for some badges, which I do need badges. So now the question is he worth trading out for just a single Madden badge, or is he better off as something else? Actually, I don't know if I can exchange him though at all. Yeah, because he's my head-to-head player, so I'm toast with him. So let's trade him out and get the badge, because I have zero need for Sam Darnold. Yeah, we've thought about doing something like that, different tiered tourney structure, which I can support. I think I can do multiple. The multi-stage tourney essentially is what that would be. And we've thought about doing that sort of thing where we go through, randomize, obviously the initial brackets, and then people play up. But there, it works best if we've got even more people, and that's harder to get as you get towards the end of the season. Everybody's ready for reset, ready to do other things. But we can do that. I mean, certainly, we had 350 people in the last OD tourney that we have. We've got 141 in this, and maybe he's better off. Maybe better off selling Darnold. Let's see if we've got any. And I can't sell him either. He's toast. Let me see if I can sell him. Should be able to. He's old. Let's see, let's get him out of the set, and let's see if we can see what he's selling for. I have a hard time selling these 100s. I hate it. Yeah, today was his first day to sell. I think you're right. And we can post him. These guys always, certainly, if Jerry's still on, Jerry's the more the auction house king than I am. But I usually post these guys, the 100 floor, which is fine. We can do that. We'll play this guy like that. Yeah, I see his patience with selling, so we'll post him. We'll see what happens. I put it just at 2 million. But, that's the thing, patience with selling. I don't have time to sit there and work in the auction house all day long, and that's that's what kills me, being able to do much. Yeah, no, I know it's not going to happen, and that's why I say, we'll post him, because people are saying let's post him, so we'll post him. And again, he's going to get badged. So again, I'm not out anything. If he sells, cool, I've got cash. If not, then he's a badge. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if you get more than 80, 90K for him, then certainly it's better than one badge. That trade-off there, because I only finished top 100. I think I finished easily top 500, and it was only maybe 55 wins, something like that, I think is where I was sitting. And somebody wanted to see my OD record, which we should be able to see. So there you can see my my OD record overall. See my profile. So what is that sitting at right now after the last run? We got 1472. So yeah, sitting my normal 73%. So cheers, Sam. Thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not going to sell, but that's cool. Yeah, so still sitting at 73%, which, you know, is pretty good spread-wise. You know, that's, you know, playing against a lot of vert players, and I play against a lot of, you know, way overpowered guys compared to mine. Yeah, Monday's still alive. Monday's still alive. Let's go ahead and roll it if you want. I think that's good. We've let it stay up now for, yeah, I think we're good. So let's roll it. We'll roll Monday in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Speed Hydra, man. Speed Hydra with another win. Early follower, May 20. Really appreciate it, Speed. Thanks a lot. So let's get the whisper out here to Speed Hydra. And I just told him, you know the drill, LOL. So let's, yeah, no, he's got a good set of wins there. He's everywhere. You're right. It's like Tillman. So we can go ahead and spin up the next giveaway too. What do you guys want? What's the keyword from you guys? Tell me the keyword. They're working on them for me now. Wilkins? All right, Wilkins. You want Wilkins to be the keyword. There we go. Wilkins is the keyword. W-I-L-K-I-N-S. Wilkins is the keyword. W-I-L-K-I-N-S. Wilkins. That giveaway is live right now. W-I-L-K-I-N-S. Wilkins. So yeah, like I said, I was hoping to try to start the new season and jump in with some play, but we're not able to do that. You guys want to do some arena stuff? I don't know that I've got enough badges to max anybody right now, but I figure we can hang out a little bit while everybody's still on. You know, we still got a good number of users just hanging out with us. So let's see what we've got to max. I don't think I have much. I think I burned just about everything, trying to get up to where I am right now with the 7447. So now this is one thing we could talk about. If people were talking about, yeah, we do a friendly OD match. Yeah, Ladam. We'll go in order. We'll do Ladam. We'll go with Marone in arena, and then we'll do some friendly OD matches if you guys want to. I need to do a play subs. That's what we need to do, is play subscribers. But now, max badges, this is another thing someone had asked about max badges, and my approach specifically, you know, I'm just always trying to get the cheapest price that you can. You know, I try to look for somewhere between 70 and 100K per badge, at 100K at the absolute max, and that's if I'm, you know, really just in a hurry to get somebody maxed. But if we look at it from a specific promo perspective and the way that I'm kind of approaching things, I'm not really going after many of the masters anymore on these. What I'm going to do is, and I don't know if I'm going to try to get these done before the end or not. We're almost at the, what's the counter at right now? We got 1 week left on the 4th of July. Maybe I'll try to get the other 2 masters here just so I get that bonus player for the badges. But if you're not going for any of the masters, then I was looking through and actually looking at the calculation. And remember, Wilkins giveaway is live. W-I-L-K-I-N-S. And if you look at the you know, the badge ratios that you have here, you know, it takes 4 of the 80 overalls, and so unless you have the lower power 80 overalls filling in that the MF players, the 130 powers, then this set I think is still worthwhile. If you look at this, you know, it takes a total of 12 80 plus players with 160 power to get 1 badge in the max badge sets. If you go to the next 160 power set, you can see that for an 85 plus, 85 pluses take 2 85 plus in order to get your 1 badge, right? And then when you get up to the 90 pluses, then the 90 pluses will give you 2 badges, right? In the Madden Max side of things. So if you look at this though from the promo and can you use the promo to build badges, then this is where, let me get back to the sets instead of going to the wrong place. But if you look at the badge cost, or the actual cost of these, then this is actually a good deal. So the 4 for the 85, and you trade in also 2 of your 4th of July badges, then that is going to, thanks for the follow, Music Maniac, and thanks for the follow, LMAO. It's Jesse. But if you look at this, then again, we start out with 12 players per badge. If we move to this, then this is going to cost us essentially 8 80 plus overall players, and we're going to get a badge, right? So we essentially have 8 for each badge, which is a really good deal, right? And then if we go to the 90s, though, we need 5 of those 85s just to be able to claim one of the 90s, which would give us 2 badges overall. And so when you get into that, you start to get to where that ratio does not start to play. I think it works out to 10 80s per badge instead of 8 80s per badge. And then and that may be. I think Music Maniac was on here before, but this starts to work out to where this is a less of a return for you, I think, in terms of badges. So what I've been doing is sticking with swapping these out as I've tried to build power, is to try to use these 160 power players in these sets when I need badges in the 85 set, so that I can get an expense of 8 80s per badge, right? Which is lower than the 1280 per badge normal, but less than also this 90 set trying to build it. I haven't fully worked out, and then maybe somebody in the chat has, but I haven't fully worked out whether or not, if you go for the Masters and get the free Masters, if it's still worth it or not. The big thing are the shields here, and the shields also pull an extra 4 80s from you also. And so when you start looking at the shield, so you need 4 80s just to build a shield, and to get this 196, then you've got to have 40 80s in order to do that. And so it really starts to add up in terms of the badge cost if the 80s that you have are the 160 power 80s. So I burned up all of my 130 power players in this set early on, so that I could actually use them towards almost a better advantage as the 160 power players, because these were not power specific sets, and I had a ton of the MF 130 power players saved up on the bench. But then now that I've gotten into the 160s, then it's more you have a more direct trade-off in terms of the balance. Yeah, exactly. Trubs, if you saved up a ton of the 80-84s from the last one, then it was easy to get through. Again, I finished off Hooper. It was pretty quick, and again, I still had a ton of stuff left over to be able to cash in a ton for 85s for badges, for max badges. So getting the 160, so trading in 130 overall players to get the 160 overall players, that then I could cash in for a rate of of only 2 per badge. Thanks for the follow, Siegs. Yeah, see, I skipped a lot of the last promo. You guys can kind of see that on my. I did 2 masters, but I did 2 masters from 2 different conferences, and so that kept me really from driving towards that. But see, at that point, I already had Watt and Lawrence maxed out at defensive end, and then at cornerback, we ended up getting Moss. And so that allowed me to be able to, thanks for the follow, Venti, that allowed me to be able to kind of bypass that entire thing and really just pick up the 2 offensive linemen that I wanted, because I had picked up Thuney from Powerline previously. So right now for me it's about getting that power up, so I'm not playing at so deep of a disadvantage when we play top leagues. Really, I don't care about it as much in OD. I play a lot of top guys and still can pull out wins. But of course, occasionally take my beat downs like everybody else in OD. But but certainly it's in LVL it's real tough. If you're playing down 5 and then someone's up 1,000, 2,000 power on you, then you're reduced down to where you're my Michael Vick in a match the other day was playing at a 92. He's played at a 93 and a 94. So you're way down to where your guys are just running in mud, can barely get to the line of scrimmage, even though my guys are also reducing them with the defensive boosters that I have in play. So do you guys want to do some, see if we can play some friendly OD? We can do that for a few minutes, and then maybe we'll call it a stream for the day. Wilkins is still alive, Wilkins. Let's roll that before we do the Marone request that was made, and then we'll play some friendly matches. So Wilkins, Wilkins, and we'll go ahead and roll that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, an SBP. So SBP with a win, May 20th follower. Been following since we got this thing up and running. SBP 24. All right. So I sent that whisper out, and since Overdrive's down, let's pay it homage with the next giveaway. We'll make it live because that'll be another 20 minutes. Let's make it Overdrive. So OVRDRIVE, Overdrive, and that giveaway is live right now while we jump into Arena. Overdrive. Okay, so we can't play friendlies either. I hadn't tried since it was on. Thanks for highlighting that, Wendy. All right, so let's jump in, and you wanted to see Marone on Arena, and on Arena, what I usually try to do, because I'm expecting usually to hit lower power players for the most part, so I usually just try to completely trash their offense, or boost my defense just a little bit. I may not even put any boosters in at all. If I do, it'll be my running back booster that you see there, but I'm actually going to try to completely trash their offense as much as I can. So I'm going to bring up this offensive reducer here. You'll notice too that I don't have. You'll notice too that I also don't have my offensive and defensive boosters fully upgraded. And yeah, I don't know. It's going to be somewhere between Easter and Christmas. Certainly not near Easter. But so again, for me, I'm not going to put anything into them. Could be epic. I mean, could be amazing. But it's certainly not going to be Easter level stuff, which Nick has said that a couple times. But you'll notice these aren't, the reason I haven't upgraded these all the way is because you have a pretty substantial upgrade cost, and you see you only get the additional +2 pursuit, right, for that extra cost. And so that's one reason why I have not upgraded that from level 9, right? And it actually does not change. Usually it changes the cost to equip, but in this case it doesn't even change the cost to equip. You see at level 10 it stays at 960, and same with the offensive reducer. It's the same way, that once you get up to the 860 mark, as you go up, it does not reduce the cost anymore, and you only gain that extra +2 in a decrease in. Well, if you're timed out, you're certainly not going to be eligible. But so I've not upgraded those for that purpose because it did not decrease the cost. But let's completely decrease whoever's offense I'm going to jump in and play. So I want to kill off just every player that I can. So let's wipe out their wide receivers. Let's wipe out the running backs so that they can't run the ball. I'm going to keep my running back booster in. And what I'm going to do is also probably put in my defensive booster maybe, so that I can... let's actually put in the O-line killer. And that way we can maybe get some pressure, get some sacks. So let's see what that does, playing around a little bit. I wanted Marone, so you want to see the run plays there from the request that I got. So let's jump in and we'll play a bit of Arena. What's scummy? Yeah, I mean, the point of the fireworks is a little bit of a gamble, right? Like it's, and I don't like to use the word gamble, but there's risk there, right? Hey, Donald, it's a little bit of a risk because you don't know what's going to be in that set. You know, when you look at the actual sets that you have for players, you know exactly what you're going to get out of that set. But with the fireworks, you don't have any idea. It could be really good. You know, it could be something you could use on your team. But certainly, it's they're not going to be like Easter, right? And that's, again, Nick said that multiple times, that you need to keep that in mind, that it's not going to be like Easter. So we'll stop right here and we can do some of the run plays. I'll intentionally get tackled here. So Marone, again, we've talked about before on the stream, but Marone is really great for his run plays. And what's really nice also is that it's he's upgraded. Essentially, you get 5 key run plays at only level 5, so you don't have to upgrade him completely. It does give you an opportunity to open up some really nice run plays without a lot of whistle expenditure if you happen to be short. That'll be a fun matchup. DMB. It's not a question there of whether we'll win or not. It's how bad we'll get our teeth kicked in. Hey, I'm saving and exiting. Those boosts are locked in though. I need to get my tourney boosts in. Otherwise, it'll be a complete hammering. I don't know if I can squeeze in my defensive one there or not. Let's see though. Yeah, I know, man. I got to get serious. Let's see if he really is playing. You really playing me? I'm watching. I'm looking. I'm looking. All right. Let's jump in and get back to what we were going for. Hey, Philly. So you decide to come on once you guys match up, huh? All right, so let's look at his run plays here. Again, really nice run plays. I mean, the first one, these are the weaker run plays, but you get these without at the level 5, and that's what we'll look at. So you have 94 will. Then it's, you see where that block's going to go. So here you're going to have the halfback pull out and be able to hopefully pick up a block there. And maybe you guys will get some video here of Barry Sanders running out and pancaking people down the field, which is great if you haven't watched it. So here we can see what kind of block we get. There we're going to look to see whether we're going to go outside or we're going to take it up the middle. Thanks for the cheer, Philly. I'll need the cheer, man. That's just for the matchup. The cheer's for the matchup. So halfback off tackle is another. It's a decent play, but it's one that gets blown up. It's either a really good play or it's going to get killed. This looks like we've got this blitz potentially coming in. So if that doesn't get picked up, this is likely going to get stopped behind the line of scrimmage. But we'll see what happens. There we see we can take it up front. We got a nice little warping block there by our offensive line. So that's not bad. Yeah, matching up with NNS is not good when you're midstream. Yeah, it's a content issue, Uzi Deschleim. They're working on getting that pushed back out. So it's also all the head-to-head stuff is all rolled up into that same content. And again, Overdrive giveaway is live. Overdrive, Overdrive, in homage of it to it being down currently. The giveaway is Overdrive. So one of his really good plays, obviously, is Zone Weak, and you get that at level 5 also. This is similar, to what you see with Garrett and in the base playbooks for some of the schemes. But if you look, we're just going to follow that blocker and see where we go. There we got picked up. Let's run that again. just so we can kind of see where that blocker is going to go. You're going to try to follow the fullback and see where he goes, and depending on that motion, you're going to look to whether you're going to go up the middle, or you're going to try to kick it outside. Again, we've got this outside blitz. It looks like it's coming in, so hopefully that gets picked up, and we might be taking this one inside. This one actually outside, because you see where the block, which way the chip block went. We can kind of replay that, I think. Let's go back and I'll show you that. No, the answer to that is hell no, Philly. So let's watch where Barry comes through, and you can see this block, the angle that he takes. So Barry comes inside, and you see now Barry is in between the defender and the running back by pushing with an inside angle, right? And because of that inside angle, I'm going to take that more to the outside because I know he's going to try to hang on to that block. And so that's the reason for picking that to run to the outside. So halfback zone, again, another really good play. You know, the Smash Mouth guys are familiar with both of these, but you're going to watch this motion that happens here, and that will give you an idea of whether you're playing man or whether you're seeing zone, and it's just another indicator. There are a lot of other indicators, obviously, but that'll let you know. And then you just follow that blocker. Watch where they go. Watch body positioning, and see where they're going to go to try to see which direction is going to give you the greatest amount of potential yardage. Yeah, Philly is the one that talked me into finally getting Barry, but then Barry started fumbling on me. So like I said, he's relegated to fullback now. But I love it because, like I said, it's funny watching that little tiny frame run downfield and pancake people. So Power G is another one that you want to watch. It can be taken outside or it can be taken up the middle. If you get the blocks on this is actually a really good play, but it's one of those that's probably about a 60-40, 50-50 maybe shot of it getting blown up in some way. But again, you want to follow those blockers. There we're going to get some nice outside blocks and be able to take that down the field a bit. The best play that Marone has is halfback toss motion. This you only get though once you max him out at level 15. And again, remember, yeah, exactly, Venti. That's the thing. It's going to get blown up in a lot of cases, and it's not one that I use very often. Where it doesn't get blown up against the good teams is if you can take it down the middle, and that oftentimes can get some decent yardage, more like a field goal type play. But again, Overdrive giveaway is live, Overdrive. But halfback toss motion is the best play in his playbook. Again, but you've got to get all the way to level 15 and max him out in order to get that. And so if you look at that, you're going to, again, watch where the blockers are going to go. They're going to usually go wide right, but they don't take a shallow approach like you get with like halfback or with some of the toss plays that you have in like halfback toss strong, for example, where it stays a little bit shallow in the West Coast playbook. But certainly you can watch this motion, see how the block gets picked up, and then figure out exactly where you want to take that play. And a lot of times that is a one-play banger. The other really nice play for Marone that I use a lot, and again I'll use Marone most of the time in LVL, is level cell. This is one where you've got some crossing routes that are happening. You've got some space potentially in the midfield to be able to pick up some yardage, and then level cell also you're looking to see if the halfback does not get covered, then that usually is the first read you're going to go to. And so then you can see exactly what's happening with the halfback. And that was, I should have waited for the inside route to go there because the defense drifted with the halfback. The other play that I really like is fullback dive strong here. And what I like about this has, I think, one of the fastest handoffs in the game. So when you hand this off, that fullback is going to be almost at full speed when he takes the ball. There's no, most of the handoffs you get a little bit of like a deceleration or acceleration that occurs. And so here you can see how quick we go at almost full speed, straight up the middle, and there we're able to score. I love that particular play. So we're just going to roll that in with Vic. So what do you guys think Master Series wise with the reveal today from Nick? I know it's just a little bit of stuff, but I thought it was pretty cool. I've got the screenshots we can share if anybody wants to see anything, but But certainly, I think I like the concept of Master Series where Lamar is something that you can kind of hang on to throughout the year. Yeah, so we can put up the screenshots if you guys, for those of you who didn't see it, if we have quite a few people that didn't see, I can put the screenshots up. Yeah, the fact they discussed possibly having time locks gone, I thought that was pretty good. So there's at least a little bit of a sample with Marone and the plays that I like with him. Again, he's who I use primarily in LVL. I will spin up another one. I'll show you a PA pass that I really like with Marone also. That's really good. Let me pull up. We'll show the screenshots. Let me download these real quick. And we'll share. You mean, yeah, so Pat, so let me load in the other one here. Let me load in Patriots, the other screenshot here. And you can see. So we'll have the normal Master Stage. I mean, just like we had Master Series each time, right? There'll be new bosses, new people that we pick up each time, just like before. But here we'll have a 10-stage series. You can see at the top there's 10 stages in this particular series, and this shows the Lamar Jackson boss, right? Everybody will start with Lamar Jackson, so that'll be someone you'll be able to get immediately, right, when the season starts. But there'll be the normal 10-stage sort of process that we go through for the Master Series, and I believe what the developer had said was that there'll be 2 10-stage. So up here, you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So those 10 stages, there'll be 2 sets of those that you have for the Master Series that you complete that will then have the normal kind of bosses like what we've seen in this current Master Series, right? Yeah, so up here, this is this is just Nick's screenshots that he took from the devs at that time. Remember, giveaway is live. Overdrive, Overdrive, for those that are just now hopping on. And thanks for the follow, Heppy. But what you can see here is that it's very similar to that sort of setup, but what's different in this side is that there'll also be, for every one of these new bosses that gets released, you'll have a Lamar-only stage. So another 10-stage setup that will be specifically for upgrading Lamar as you work with him throughout the entire season. And so that's kind of a neat concept, I think, and I'm interested to see that. Again, they did not verify that time locks were gone, but they did verify in the video that they are working on alternative methods to achieve the same sort of result. The time locks are a pain in the butt, but the purpose of them is so that someone can't just go play that day and be able to finish it up, right? They wanted everyone to be able to take at least a certain amount of time, so that, again, it was just trying to balance out that advantage of free-to-play players, which had access to the Master Series, and those that pay, right? The Master Series was set up in such a way that it allowed for people to be able to stay caught up, even if you weren't a pay player, right? I think they were really good. I think the only complaint that I have about Master Series is that it got a little bit stale for your higher end competitive players. By the time we got to Mahomes, I had Michael Vick, completely evoed up, and there was no way I was just going to pull out the Masters Mahomes and use him. Although a wide range of the community was still able to take advantage of Vick. The upper portion of the competitive guys, likely didn't do the last few folks, right? And obviously when Deion Sanders came out, that was a big one for a lot of people, even competitive players, because we were short on good kick returners, and especially ones that then were a little bit less expensive to max out. It was pretty helpful having that. So again, I'm hoping that we don't see as many of those time locks, but they're hopefully they'll have a really clever mechanism for how we actually go about doing that without having the actual time locks in place. So let's go ahead and roll that giveaway. Overdrive, Overdrive, Overdrive. We're going to roll that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Qwerty, hey, been following since June 18th. Thanks for the follow, Qwerty. Appreciate it. and he's also a sub. So again, really appreciate you guys supporting the channel, supporting the effort and the time that goes in. Content you guys want to see, subscriber or follower or whoever, let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll certainly try to add that stuff into the channel. I always try to make sure to take into account your guys' feedback and add in things that make the content and streams interesting for you. Let's see. Typing out this real quick so don't forget. So we'll probably do one more giveaway, I guess. We'll roll in. We'll do some more arena here, and we'll close it off at 2 o'clock. We'll say. So we'll go 2 hours. And we'll do one more giveaway, and we'll run some more Mahomes and arena. Since people want to say, and since we can't really do much OD right now. See you, SBP. Thanks, man. Thanks again for coming on the stream. Really love having the competitive guys on here and getting their feedback. Yeah, you could play me if OD was up and running, but OD is still down right now. I don't think that content push still has happened unless it's happened just in the last few minutes while I've been on stream. So the PA pass that I like out of Marone is this PA Dagger U Cross. Really like the way this play works. So you can see you're going to have this this crossing route, the inside route from Kittle, from the tight end. You're going to have a wide receiver that's this is actually wide receiver 2 running this. Wide receiver 1 is the B route, and so you have some options here to be able to run. The fullback also runs like a little out route there that you can see from the middle. It's a really odd play, but when you need to pick up like maybe 6 to 8 yards in a critical situation, it's one where one of these routes is usually open for good yardage. And so there you can see, how that sort of read would be there. Bye, Gary. Thanks for coming on the stream, and thanks for the update, Wendy. But that play is really good. I mean, that's an excellent. I consider it sort of a mid yardage bailout play for me. And I really like the way that one is particularly set up. PA fake toss is one that sometimes can be useful, but because you have this very deep wide receiver route on the outside, you end up in a situation where these defenders that are in this kind of overloaded space have a little bit more room to be able to get on coverage, I think. I find that this route doesn't seem to be as open. You see how the defender is able to get off there and just stay right with them. But it can open up some scrambling, and you notice how that crossing route also flips up field. And so that's one thing I always look for in a play, is what happens after the player finishes their defined route. In some plays, the player will continue kind of run it, or they'll get out to their defined route and just kind of stop and hang out in space. And those oftentimes are the routes, if you try to throw that after you've waited too long, you end up in a situation that you're going to get a pick because the defender's going to be kind of sitting and hanging out there. And then, man is tough with the linebackers and everybody. Man, I think is a lot harder than some of the zone stuff. So I run like 3-4. Most of my stuff is 3-4, and I run mostly man stuff now. A little bit of zone, mixed in for some purposes, but I've started doing a lot more man. Probably 50-50 blend now, just to mix things up a bit. And then, but again, the other routes you look for are the ones where they're going to take off upfield, right? So one like PA Waggle, this is not a Marone play, but if you look at PA Waggle, watch what happens with the route here, right? So as we run out, we've got this open. Well, that's going to not develop good, but let's we'll go ahead and get that play off. But what'll happen is that route will actually go down, and then the receiver will take off upfield. And that's what you want to look for. Those can potentially open up. If you can scramble out long enough and let that route continue, if you're on the short side of the field, then they can, they'll continue their route potentially upfield, and then that gives you another opportunity to maybe get down the field or maybe throw over coverage to where the defender starts to crash down onto the quarterback. That's scrambling. No, we've not launched the next one yet. Which what play was the last? I'm looking through the chat here. What play was? PA deep in. So PA deep in I like. Sometimes it can take a little bit for that to develop. It's a good OD play, and it's one where you can get some nice strikes. That in the post route by the tight end there is really nice. If that gets open and he stays underneath coverage where you don't have the safety being able to pick that up, but you see the safety kind of creeping down there, which what I'm going to look for first of all is this go route, the way this coverage is. See if he gets behind the player there, and then see if we can actually make this throw early on. So there he makes the pass or makes the cut, and there we're able to get the ball in. Had a little bit of delay on the throw that I didn't want, and that's probably because I didn't have a hold of the stick like I needed to. But certainly that's not a bad play. Several reads. That go route and the post route are the ones that are going to be the first ones to go to. That's a good pick. Yeah, arena's good. Let's do arena as the, I like it. Let's do arena as the keyword, A-R-E-N-A, arena as the keyword. That giveaway is live. And that'll be the last one for the day. We'll hang out for another 6 minutes or so, and then we'll call it a stream. That's a good couple hours there. So I hope it's not been boring with no OD and no faster action, no wheel of coaches or anything. But hopefully the content was good today. Hope you guys liked the listening to the guys explain their strategy on the that was good on the OD tournament, the 3K tourney, having SBP and Traveling Blue on. Again, I like to try to get as many of the competitive guys on. So if you guys are interested, let me know if there's anybody that would like to potentially do something on stream. So Mills is a play here that I didn't go through. I don't particularly like Mills. You want to run the crossing route, I think, on the opposite side of the short field. And this I only use when I need short yardage, right? If I'm trying to get just 1 or 2 yards that I really need to get, this route usually is deep enough and usually is open enough. And there I fat fingered it to the inside guy, but that route is usually open enough to where you can get it. That other route is a possibility, but it depends on, and you can actually throw that early. You'll notice that I tossed that ball way early on the defender that time he was open. But there we want to hit that crossing route. And there you see for 1 to 2 yards, short yardage sorts of plays. And if you're just getting killed on the run in an LVL match, then that play actually is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, the post route's okay. It can open up, but it depends on, obviously, the coverage that you have. There we've got 2 deep. We're going to have this cornerback that's on top. They're playing some press coverage here. These sometimes can be dangerous. It just depends on where that safety actually is hanging out. If you've got time for it to develop and they stay under coverage, but you see what happens there, unless they're staying way under coverage, then that post route starts to become a little bit dangerous. Unless you have the edge where they're going to come outside or either stay underneath the coverage or be able to beat that safety through that gap. And in that case, you have to wait for that play to develop quite a bit longer, which can potentially result in a sack. He does have a couple other PA plays that are pretty interesting. The PA Jags double post is an interesting one. It's not too deep, so you do have a nice little mid-crossing route there that's pretty nice. The thing I don't like is the option routes on the outside, and the reason I don't like those, even though they're based on man-zone coverages and they're easy to read, it's easy to forget which way they're going to go if you don't play those plays a lot. And so then you can also end up in a situation where you get an unexpected pick. There we got good coverage for that crossing route, and we're able to get the ball off there. So again, I usually try to reserve, that play is not one that I usually pull out unless I'm just trying to dink around with it and play a little bit. PAT attack is another one that really it just takes a long time to develop. You have that wonky sort of squiggle route for the corner route for the tight end, and then that is going to be again a weird inside route that's going to be run by the wide receiver. So the downside to this play is it can take a little bit of time for all of those particular plays to develop, and then that you're risking a potential sack if you're playing against a a higher level player. Again, the run plays for Marone are what are money. If you're playing an LVL, or even if you like to run an arena, then you're going to have good opportunities to be able to run the ball. Again, one of my favorite short yardage ones still is the fullback dive strong. I usually save that as one where I really need the short yardage. You usually get the blocks on that play, and again, the handoff is so fast that the fullback starts off almost at full speed after the handoff, which is pretty rare for most of the run plays that we have in the spread playbook. So Arena is live. That giveaway is still live. Again, really appreciate it. 2 hours in, and still having 57 people here hanging out. And I know, again, a lot of it's giveaways, and that's always awesome. People hanging out for the giveaways. But I do appreciate everybody hanging on, and do appreciate everybody tuning in to the stream. Let's run one more set here and see what we can do. It's still down as far as I know. And by this time, Philly or those guys have scored 24 on my defense. Which, let's be honest, likely would have happened either way. So this is the halfback zone. And again, you want to watch where that blocker goes, whether you're taking it inside or taking it out. That one I should have taken inside. And you can see where that blocker went in. He pushed the defender towards the outside of the field. And there we hit the 10-minute mark, so I've lost that match. That happens when you're talking. Yeah, no OD for the rest of the year. There's part of me that'd be okay with that, because as long as it's up, I feel the necessity to play. So here we got a good matchup. Dank. We've got very similar power. So this should be a good matchup to end it. We'll finish this match off, and then we'll end it. You guys want to pick a play? So again, when I'm playing these tougher matches, I always do triple option, so I can see what this defense is going to do, and we can see what kind of speed we're working at. There we've got some outside play. Just couldn't do anything. That's killer. So let's see if we can Z shallow cross out of this particular bad situation. There we see some QB contain defense. You see that, which really helps slow down PA players or players that like to use a lot of PA, because those are critical. Let's see if we can get some zone weak action. Yeah, we'll do toss motion again. So there we've got, you can see the running back's moving pretty slow, so we've got some good reducers in here, just like I'm running reducers, so hopefully he's having some difficulty. I don't know if Dank's on here or not, but here you can see halfback toss motion. We're going to watch these blockers. We got man there. See, the blocker just completely ran past and got killed, and that's the downside to halfback toss motion, is you're going to have that situation where potentially if that doesn't get picked up, that outside block, then it's brutal. Bad throw by Vic. See, that was a good read though. So we had the read right. Kittle had beaten the coverage, but Vic just horribly underthrew that ball. So there we have a pick to start out. That's not good. It's not good. Not the way you want to start. All right, so let's see if we can run. See if we can get halfback toss motion going again. Watch where that defender goes. All right, we're going to kick this to the outside, see if we can get some yardage. A little bit. Halfbacks are running slow. So because we've got these halfbacks so reduced, I'm going to try to see if we can get any yardage. This might be a quick throw out. We'll see what happens. Man, I'm having to pull back. Look at that. Look at that. Terrible. Terrible. Let's take it up the middle. You can see how slow Derrick Henry's running. Maxed out Derrick Henry. Oh, God. You're going to make me run a screen? Okay, PA wide receiver screen. Worst play in the game. Yes. Yes. That's terrible. I don't see how you run screens, man. I don't see how you do it. Oh yeah, boosters are real, man. Boosters are real. Yeah, yeah. No, that horrible. Horrible. I think screenplay should be removed. Combine's gonna unfollow the channel now. Let's do it again. We'll do it again for Combine. We got the 1st and 10. Yes, same result. Same result. The problem is that there's one option, right? And that's the difficulty with these screenplays is you've got one player you can go to. Everybody else is completely doing nothing. And so that is a real liability if the player you're up against has a right defense to be able to counter what you're trying to do. Yeah, we can do some pick a play. I think Carlton likes to do the pick a play. So we're going to do fullback toss strong. And again, just watch how quick, even when I'm slowed down, how quick that halfback gets the ball. So there's almost no chance, that it's very hard even for a tougher power defense unless they just get through every block to actually beat that play. And that's with Marone at level 5. Now here we got inside coverage, so I'm going to try to see if we can do a little strong toss here and see if we get some favorable coverage. And there it's not going to work. We might get a good block, but I'm just so slowed down. Halfback is just so slowed down. Ah. Alright, no way I'm kicking a field goal. So let's go level cell. There we go for the score. Yes, sir, Ladam. levels Y cell for sure. For sure. Ah, just short. Just short. Let's see how he's faring. Oh, we picked up a pick 6. Needed that. Yeah, levels Y cell is a coach play. And it's good. Garrett has it. Marone has it. Look how slow I am. So slow. Okay, let's go wide receiver screen. Is that in here? I don't even know that that's in here. I don't think we have wide receiver screen. Yeah, that's not our native. Yeah, the PA is the only option that we've got. So my running backs are really slowed down. So I'm going to try to see if I can get any throwing, any passing plays on. And I think we might have some better success there. If we can get if our line can hold up and keep the blocks. This looks like a blitz coming in. So if the tight end gets behind that coverage, then we're couldn't get the ball off in time. But that would have been perfect. If I could have thrown the ball there, that would have been perfect to Kittle. Let's see if we can also abuse a little bit of this coverage here with the defense slowed down. There we got a good throw. So here's another good opportunity potentially for fullback dive strong. And again, we're going to be in this goal line formation. Do we get it? Oh, so close. So close. All right, just get our first down. Keep chunking away. Remember, giveaway is live. Arena, A-E-R-N-A. A-R-E-N-A. Oh, that's going to be an ill-advised throw. Needed to throw just a little bit earlier. Let's see if we can get anything going with Vic and some triple option. We got a lot of blitzes coming in from this player. So if the blocks hold, we might have money here. Little wiggle, little wiggle. Yeah, I like that too, Patty. I think that's a really cool concept that we're going to have Lamar, from the get-go. All right, so let's put this one in. Halfback dive, goal line. That's my favorite go-to play for these short yardage situations. A little dive with Derrick Henry. A Little icing on the top. See if we can get the 2. Oh, tip pass. That was a good matchup. Good matchup. Good solid matchup. I like those. 14-18. All right, guys, let's roll the final giveaway. Again, appreciate everybody hanging out. Thanks to SBP. Thanks to Traveling Blue for hanging out. Thanks to Eli for sending the info on his strategy and what he did. But we'll go ahead and roll 5, 4. Well, I already pulled it. So where's Bonnie? Where's Bonnie is the it was a little bit delayed there. So where's Bonnie following since May 29th? Thanks for the follow. I will get the whisper out to you, and you let me know which 100 overall or 96, 98 player that you would like. And we will see you guys then on Wednesday. And I will have in the Discord, probably on Reddit, we'll have when we're going to live stream the and how we're going to live stream the finals for the OD tourney. But we'll be working on the semis and the finals, getting them scheduled for sometime later this week. But until then, you guys have a good rest of the Monday, and we'll see you on Wednesday.